Hey, I was having some problems, so I'm kind of hoping that I'm not having any issues and that everybody can hear me. I have my earpiece on. I'm not sure if it's working correctly. I've just been having like a lot of technical difficulties today. It has been a crazy day. I mean, my internet's not working, my earpiece, I don't know if people can hear me, my iPad is just crazy. So I want to say welcome back to our seventh session, talk, conversation, discussion. This has been so tremendously great to share and to hear feedback and just different little stuff. So I'm usually on at 1 o'clock, but today I had to come on at 1:30. I am a single mom, so I gotta do everything myself. I gotta run errands. I don't get a chance to have other somebody help me out, but it's good. To God be the glory. But I'm just gonna shift this into prayer really quick, so we can just bless this podcast, this live, and whatnot. Lord Jesus, I just want to thank you, Heavenly Father, just for waking us up this morning, Lord Jesus, with your blessings, your mercy, your giving breath, Lord Jesus. I ask you right now for those in a hard time right now that you send the comforter. You are the comforter, that you send the comfort that we need, the peace and calmness through this storm right now, through this season, Lord Jesus. I ask that when anybody who hears this word, Lord Jesus, that it be edified to them, that they will understand it, that it will help them, they will mold it to fit themselves. I ask you, Lord Jesus, right now, just be in the midst. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. All right. Today, I wanted to talk about a couple of things, doubt and structure. And the reason why I want to talk about these two things is because I just feel like it's just something that needs to be talked about and whatnot. So as I adjust my chair, because I had to run in and just do stuff, it's been a trying day today. It's been trying. I'm telling you right now. I'm hoping that everybody can hear me well and whatnot, and that this comes out well. And I have flowers flowing in to just like, hey, let the flowers just flow. I'm a girl, so I'm just gonna have a little background, a little pizzazz, a little sass. So I love it. I love the fact that I can do that and have that bring a little bit different feel to it. But anywho, some of you guys have been, you know, talking about my shirts that I wear today. I don't have a shirt on that says something, but some of the shirts, a lot of the shirts that I've been wearing are black owned companies. I really have been researching black owned companies to support my community. Not saying that I'm not supporting other communities, but I have not been supporting my own community. So I've been buying a lot of different products from black owned companies to support them, and just to support my culture, and to let them know that I support them in their business, and just want to, even from afar, because some of them are not from the state that I live in, the city I live in. They're from different states. Some of them even from different countries. Just to have it flown in and whatnot, to support and stuff like that. So I will try to get up next time I wear a shirt. I'll try to have like not a link, but the name inside, maybe the comments or the post. Um, if I wear a shirt that says something that you like, and I'll just have it in there anyways, because a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, I like your shirt," and whatnot, and actually, majority of the shirts that I wear are black-owned companies. Um, just because, like I said, I want to support them. But anywho, rocking right on in. I wanted to talk about structure. Now, structure is an arrangement. The definition is an arrangement according to a plan. Now, I believe I'm a big person on structure. Like, I'm gonna give you how my structure looks like in my house. Now, I just want to say that having an opinion and giving somebody advice doesn't mean you have to take that advice exactly as they say and do exactly what they do. No, I'm a firm believer in taking advice, but making that advice fit you according to who you are, not according to that person, because that person is giving you advice on according to who they are and how it fits and works for them. There's no one all. I don't believe there's a one all fits. Some outfits have, fits every size. I don't believe information advice fits like that. You have to mold it to fit you, because you are a different person. You have a different personality. You have a different perspective. You have to do it in a different environment. It is a lot of things that go into it. So for me, in my structure in my life, I need to have my kids on a regimen, a time frame. Like, I have breakfast. Like I tell my kids, if you haven't eaten breakfast by 9 o'clock, latest 9:30, the kitchen is shut down for breakfast. It is shut down for breakfast, because now we're moving into brunch and we're moving into lunch, and we should already have started our morning going and whatnot, and it takes you time to eat breakfast, and I don't want them moving too fast and choking. So I tell my kids, being that right now my kids are homeschooled, they don't have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning right now to get dressed and go to school, and whatnot. Well, one does, but that's just like easy peasy. Taking care of one child is more easy than taking care of the foe. So one child does have to get up and does have to go to school, but the other three, they don't. They are doing remote virtual learning right now, so they don't have to get up at 6 o'clock. But what they do have to get up, and I tell them, that's at their alarm. You got to get up at that bed between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. You should not be in that bed by 8 o'clock. You should be up, and just thanking Lord for your day. I'm trying to teach my children to bless the Lord every day when they wake up, because God is breathing in them every day. So that's one thing that I'm trying to instill into them, is doing that. So I have a set time for breakfast. I have a set time for lunch. Now it depends on where I'm at sometime during lunch. If it's not really close. Lunch is not going to be close to dinner at all, and I'm not just going to pull up anything out of the refrigerator. I'm going to make sure that they have an edible meal, which is, which lunch. I'm not going to cook anything. Most of them I don't cook anything, which is sandwiches, applesauce, apples, fruits, vegetables. I try to hit all the food groups, and I also try to get water and whatnot. And in between in between lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, there are snacks in between. And I have a bucket. That's labeled snacks, and you go in and you can grab from that snack bucket, and you can have two, or in whatnot. Sometimes they like to have apples with that snack or whatever. But I have it labeled, and they know where it's at. They know that it's in the pantry. It's labeled. They can pick from there. You're not just gonna be going in the refrigerator and just picking out whatever you want. There is a snack section where you can go and get a snack section between there, and that's 2 times a day. I have to have that structure for me in order for me to survive and be able to do other things during the day. Because if I'm always cooking and making something and whatnot, then I'm never getting anything done to progress my family. Also, I make sure I have chores in my family. I have chores. And I don't generalize the chores. Meaning, as I don't, only boys do this and only girls do that. No. 1 week, starting from Monday all the way to Sunday, midnight. On Sunday, midnight, you have a chore. And that is your chore for the whole week. It was getting a little chaotic for me when I have a chore board and everything like that, and tabs and everything like that, and trying to keep up with 4 children. It was hard because I have kids that are in their teens, and I have preschool age kids, so it was really hard because I'm also teaching my preschool age kids. So what I started doing where my son, let's just say this week, he has the kitchen, he has the whole entire kitchen to clean, and he do dishes, he's doing dishes. It's not generalized. And with that comes the garbage as well. So you take out the garbage, but it's the whole entire kitchen. You're mopping, you're sweeping, you're cleaning counters, you're doing the whole kitchen. You're just not doing the dishes, you're doing the whole kitchen. Now then this week, and he does it from Monday to Sunday. That is his chore, so he don't have to flip-flop all the place. Also, by maintaining his room, and also on Thursdays is washing day for him. That means he can put his clothes in any time of the day, wherever he says, but that is his day to wash. He washes his clothes, he puts them up. I've taught him how much soap he should use. I've taught him how to, what cycle it should be on. He has to do that. He has to learn how to put in his clothes, whites, colors, and everything like that. He only has 2, which is whites and colors, and whatnot, and put them in and make sure that they're done and put them in the dryer. That is his day. I don't wash. No one washes. Thursday is his day for him to do his clothes. And I have a board and it says your name, and I might switch them up here and there, but I really don't because I don't want them to be confused. My daughter has Wednesday. That's her day to do her clothes, get her, that's everything. Bedding, that's your clothes, that's bedding, that's everything to wash on your day. You're doing everything once a week. So we're not washing clothes throughout the day. Throughout the whole entire week. You have your day. Now, my washing cycle is for me and the younger two are on the weekends, which is usually just Saturday, because most of the time right now we're not doing it much. So they only have a little bit of clothes, so it mixes in with mine. So I'm doing washing because that's the time I can actually get washing done for me, because I'm doing things throughout the week. But everybody has a day. Everybody has a set time. Now, during the time that they're not doing dishes, I'm actually doing dishes as well, but I'm not doing it a lot anymore. I'm letting them do it. Also, okay, like say this week, let's just go back. This week, my daughter has the bathroom, the dining room, and the living room. Now that sounds big, but it's not, because she does the bathroom twice a week during the cycle of Monday through Sunday. She could pick whatever day she want to do it, but she's doing the bathroom, she's cleaning it out, and that also shows that she's not, it's just not a boy thing. Boys just don't clean the bathroom, or girls don't still clean the bathroom. This is all equal opportunity. We all can do it. So she's doing the bathroom, and she's doing the living room vacuum cleaning, and this is all at nighttime vacuum cleaning. She's putting up the pillows and everything like that. She's cleaning up the table, getting dishes to Jaden, sweeping, mopping, vacuum cleaning, and that's all those that's the areas. Now the following week, Jaden will be doing those areas, and Jayla will be doing dishes and trash can. And they really like this whole cycle because they know now what is demand for them, having structure. Like, this is what you're going to do, this is how you're going to do it. I first did it for you. Now I didn't just throw my kids into just doing laundry. I didn't throw my kids into just doing dishes. At first I was sitting right there by them, teaching them how to do the dishes, teaching them that you have before you put it in the dishwasher, because back in my day we didn't have dishwasher machines. Well, we did, but it was more expensive, so it wasn't in every household. It was just not coming in there. But I teach them how to wash dishes off first, because the dishwashing machine is basically to sanitize. It's not really to wash. So they have to wash dishes. So I taught them how to wash dishes, put them in certain sections, how to lay them and lay them out in the dishwashing machine so they all get hit by the water and get to be sanitized and whatnot. So I just didn't just tell them, just do it. I actually walked them through the process. Through the week, I walk them through the process and whatnot, and now they do it on their own. I just tell them and call them and tell them to do dishes, and they go ahead and go right along with their chores. Also with their clothes, like I said, I taught them how to do their clothes first. They watch me do my own clothes. They watch me do their clothes. They fold up their clothes. They organize their clothes. I've structured them to where they know where their clothes at, so they're not getting lost. They have their school clothes, their uniform clothes, underwears, everything like that is all separated. Shoes and everything like that is set up in this little spot, so you don't get lost, so it's less frustrating for you. So that's the way my structure kind of looks like with my kids. That helps me as a single parent. That helps me. That gives me less work to do. That gives me less work to do, less things to focus on, because of the fact that now that they're older, they can handle that. I'm shifting the responsibility from me to them. I have to learn to delegate. I can't do everything, because then I can't be in places all at once. I have to learn to delegate, and I have to bring them up as adults. Like it says in Proverbs 22:6. I'm just going to read it for you here. And I know I'm going rather fast and everything, but I'm just talking about my structure in my house. I have other different little tips, because you don't want to be overworked. You don't want to be ran down. If you're a single mom with one kid, and it's hard even with one kid, but when you start going to multiple children, it's really hard. It's not saying that I don't make my kids do adult things. They do things according to their age, and according to what they can handle. Just as God as is doing with us, He does things according to what we can handle. I don't give them things that they cannot handle. Like right now, they're not cooking a lot. Well, I'm teaching them step by step how to cook. They right now they're just watching me. They're just watching and learning what's in the kitchen. Like when I go grocery shopping, my son and daughter brings in the groceries. They help me with the groceries. They bring in the groceries and whatnot. But my daughter loves putting away the groceries. My son, not so much. Now, I didn't designate that job to her. She just likes putting up the groceries. And she puts up the groceries. She puts them up. She knows where they go because she has watched me. I've had her help me put up the groceries. And she just puts up the groceries. She knows where everything goes. And when Jaden's asking where something is, she already knows where it's at, and whatnot. Because I'm allowing them, I'm teaching them as they're going along on the side of me. So Proverbs 22:6, it says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Now, when I think about that scripture and whatnot, it's the way. First of all, it says train up a child the way he should go. First of all, you have to know the way. They can't follow you if you don't know the way. If you don't know the way where to go. And when I say when you know the way where to go, that means you have to seek God. You have to go to God with that to know the direction to go. Because you could be leading them right down into just abyss of nothingness and trials and not trials, because we all go through trials. A lot of hardships, a lot of trauma, confusion, because you're confused. They're following you. If you're confused and you're misleading and this and that, they're confused. They're misleading. They're doing exactly what you're doing. So when it says train up a child so that they won't depart, that is telling you to also say for instance, you grew up in an environment that didn't train you the right way to go and misled you, and you just went all over the place. When you come to the mindset of knowing that that's where you were and that's what you did, and that's how you are, come to the mindset of now knowing that now God has to lead and guide me to train myself, to retrain myself on the way to go. And I have to seek wisdom. I have to seek knowledge. I have to seek all that from Him. I got to seek that all from Him. He's the only way who can direct my path. A good man's steps was ordered by God. Also another thing is that there's I heard about structure versus nurture. Now I'm big on structure, but a couple people have told me like, well, if your structure high, your nurture has to be high as well. See, for me, I have a little issue with that. The reason why is that I'm one person and I'm raising 4 kids and they outnumber me. In order for me to survive, I gotta have structure. In order for me to survive mentally, emotionally, physically, I gotta have structure. And my thing is this: structure is also another form of nurture. That's how I look at it. Structure is another form of nurture, especially when you're getting it from God, especially when you're getting the wisdom from God. It is another form of nurture. So my structure is nurture. And at one point I was trying to have my nurture really high, and it frustrated me because when my nurture went high, my structure went down, because I'm sitting up there thinking to myself, okay, I'm here by myself. I don't have anybody to kind of balance me off. That spouse that you have, I don't have anybody to balance me off and whatnot. Like, he could be structure one time, I could be nurture. He could be nurture, I could be structure. Kind of like, but I'm the only person right now. Now, as I thought about that, we all can be structure and nurture. But when you have somebody to kind of offset that, it kind of balances it out, and whatnot. So when I thought about that, I thought about the fact of the matter is that when my structure is derived from toxicity, then it's damaging. But if my structure is thrived off of God, and I'm asking God for the wisdom, I'm asking Him how revealing to me myself, revealing to me my children, relatively their own different personalities, because one may need structure one day, and the other one will, and that same day, will need nurture, and another one will need nurture one day, and then the other one will need structure. They're different time frames. If I just have a blanket of structure and nurture, then it's like when I'm trying to, when one needs nurture, they actually need I'm giving them a structure, and they actually need nurture. So that structure and nurture thing, I believe, is it fits within each child. So, like I said, one child may need structure one day, and the other child may need nurture that same day. But it has to go evenly hand in hand with that child particularly. Because some kids, and you know it's out there, some kids like, you need a lot more structure. You need a lot more structure in your life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I had to really like just throw away that versus nurture structure. Oh, I need to have my structure high. I need to have my nurture high. I feel, me personally, I love structure. I love nurture too. But when I look at structure, I look at nurture. I look at that as me nurturing you as well. So my nurture is high because my structure is derived from God, which is actually nurture. When, like I said, our last session, Jeremiah 29:11, he has nothing but good thoughts towards us, to give us a expected good ending, to prosper us. So he when he gives us structure, he's also nurturing us, keeping us in line, telling us where to go. He's not trying to lead us down the road of just of toxicity and doomsday and whatnot. So that structure is derived off nurture as well, so structure and nurture go together. There's not verses, especially like I said, when it's rooted in God, the structure is nurture. So when I started looking at that in that way, I started looking at the fact that I don't have to do the verses. I don't have to lift my structure, my nurture to weigh on my structure, because my structure is derived from God, and I'm asking God for that wisdom, which is nurture. So that was one of my things that I had to fight with and whatnot, is that structure versus nurture. Like, oh, Tiara, you have way too much structure. You gotta let your kids have fun, and I do, within boundaries, within means, within reason. But I'm not gonna let them just, Another thing was as hard for me. It was like, as a single mom, I'm looked at as the bad guy and the good guy, and then their father is looked at as the good guy. He sees the weekend dad. Now, I'm not saying anything wrong about that, because that's the situation right now. But I'm with my kids majority of the time, and he has them on the weekends, 2 days. And so when they see him, it's all fun time. They may get a little bit of reprimand and structure with him, but they're getting it most from me. But they also get nurture from me as well. But I'm the good and the bad. I have to lay down the law, and then I have to love him up. But he gets all the love. So it actually a little bit frustrated me as being a single mom, because it was like, I want to go to dad's house and have fun and everything. I can't have fun here. I'm just saying the thoughts that will go through my head. And one of my kids did say, was like, I want to go and have fun with with dad, because they like, when they see me, they see, oh, mom is, we don't get to have a lot of good fun times and everything like that. There are also rules and regulations, but we go to dad's house, just like we get to have fun, lay out, and he wants to take us here, take us there, and everything like that. So for me, it was like, okay, in the back of my head, I'm like, man, I want to be that fun mom. So I had a little struggle there, where I tried, where I think a lot of parents, single parents, suffer with this, is that they're trying to be their kids' friends. And they don't need friends. They have friends. They don't need any more friends. They need a parent. They need a mom. Right now, you look like the bad guy. But when the gratification comes later, you actually are the good guy, and they see that, and they thank you for it. Like, man, if you would let me run ragged and try to be my friend, I wouldn't know these different things. I think is that a lot of us single parents, we need to stop trying to be our kids' friends. We need to start being their parent, what we were called to be, their parent, and give them that structure. Because, like I said, when that structure is driven off of and rooted off of God's word, it is nurture. It is nurture. You're nurturing them. You're loving them. You're not doing this because you hate them and you want to see them do wrong. Jeremiah 29:11, because we are our Father's child, which is God. We are our Father's child. So we're thinking that, yes, I have good thoughts towards you. I want you to prosper. I want you to be awesome and whatnot. So you're nurtured. That structure is nurtured. So I think we need to stop trying to be our kids' friends and stop trying to be cool. Because, I mean, my kids, they actually have told me, like, you're a cool mom. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think I was probably cool. I'm not trying to be my kids' friends. There are moments when they need that nurture side of me, just to listen, just to hear, just to sit there and listen and not really judge them and just to listen. And sometimes I got to hold my tongue like, I have to hold myself like, don't say anything, Tiara. Just listen, just listen, just listen. But I'm not there to be a friend. I'm there to be a parent. I'm not there to be the cool mom and I want them to like me and everything like that. Liking you has nothing to do with actually wanting to help you succeed in life. It has nothing to do with that. So I had to really battle with that, knowing that, okay, yes, they have fun at their dad's house and everything like that, and I may be looked at as the bad and good guy right now, most time bad and everything, because they don't like timeout, they don't like like I told my kids, when you do something, there are consequences to what you do, whether it's good or bad. There are consequences, good consequences and bad consequences and whatnot. And so I'm the one who issues out the consequences, the rules, the regulations, the punishments, however you want to put it. And it's like they don't like that. They're like, no, I don't like that. So when they're with their dad, they don't get that. They don't get a lot of that on not a daily basis, but a continuous, because they're around their mom. And I know as a single mom, I struggled with that, knowing that I was looked at more as the bad guy versus being the good guy. And I really wanted to be the good guy because I love my kids and I want them to love me. But then I started realizing that they do love me. They do love me, and I don't need to be their friend. I don't need to be hanging out, bumping fists, pump and everything like that. I need to be their mom. I need to be their parent. I need to be their sounding board. I need to be their safe place where they know they're going to get that nurture and structure from me, and whatnot. That I can be a friend in a certain form, but not in a way of me and your friends at the high school pool hop and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things, like, I had to, like, okay, let me give you an example. I had to realize that as they grow, I started to become less structure and a little bit more nurture, because as they're growing up in age, they already know, because you already been giving them that structure. So you get to lax up on the structure a little bit according to their age, because you can get more according to their age. You get to relax on the structure a little bit, and you get to show you a little bit more your nurture side. I've been seeing that with my older kids, like where I was a little bit more structured in certain areas, I'm more of a nurturing side, and I'm a little bit more relaxed on things because I no longer have to show them that part, because of the fact that I've already taught them that. And also, one socket doesn't fit all. Like, let's just give headphones. I was using my son's headphones last night, and the headphones that he has, it has the same output as me, as my computer in his computer, and it works on his computer. But when I plug it into my computer, it don't work. Same output. So I had to get a different set of headphones that worked, and it worked on my computer. Same type of structure and everything like that, but it didn't work. Designed to let me hear something, but inside my headset, but it didn't work. So like I said, one size doesn't fit all. You got to figure out what will fit that person in that situation at that time to fit you. That's what I do when it comes to advice. When people give me advice, I take it and mold it to me. I don't do exactly what you're gonna do. I take it and mold it to me, because you're not me and I'm not you, and one size doesn't fit all. And then I filter, of course, through God. So that was my little just give you my structure planning at my house of what I do and to help me survive with 4 kids, is that I had to stop looking at this versus stuff, and I need my structure, my nurture to be up here, my structure to be down here and everything like that. And it's like, no, I had to realize that my structure, when it's derived off God, my structure is nurture. I had to realize that. that, so I'm also giving them a good dose of nurture. You know what I'm saying? So moving on to doubt. That is something that I know so many single moms, not just single moms, but everybody suffers with. But I know as a single mom, um, I seem to suffer with it a little bit more. And doubt is the definition is about feeling uncertain about things, questioning the truth or facts of something, disbelief, disbelieving as a person's words, for a person's words. And the reason why I read your definition, because I'm going to go into a detail and you're going to understand why I gave you the definition and whatnot. Doubt is something that I'm just like, I doubt myself as a mom. I'm uncertain that I can do the job properly. I'm uncertain that I can raise my kids right, because one, is so many different statistics out there about single moms and how majority of single mom kids are end up in jail or dead, and in poverty and gangs and different little stuff. So it just, all that feeding in of doubt, just feeding into it, and trying to weed your way through all that noise, all that stuff, all that statistics and everything, and trying to find out the truth of the scenario. And you look at the statistic, and then you look in your own neighborhood, or you look at other single moms within your family, and they're just struggling, and you see their kids, and you see your kids, and you're just like, oh my God. And you see married couples, and I mean, kids are kids. Even married couples have hard times with their children. Even couples that may not be married and they just are living in the same house, they have hard time with their kids. And as you see in news, kids still come out. It does matter in the environment, but still, kids that go to jail can still come out of two-parent households. Unfortunately, the higher rate is single mom households. But I was so uncertain of my ideas, uncertain about who I am as a mom. And one of the reasons why I feel like I was uncertain about who I am is like the people I picked. The person I picked to have a child with, it didn't work out. And then here's another one, and it didn't work out. So the first time you're uncertain, the second time you're just like, third time it's just like, what the heck? And that's where I wanna touch base with the Samaritan woman. I love the story of the Samaritan woman, because I find myself in it. And I'm not saying I got married 5 different times, but I find myself within her story, and whatnot. And that is John 4:23. And I'm not gonna read all of it, but I do highly recommend that you go to John 4, and just read up on the Samaritan woman. It's an awesome story, amazing story about the Samaritan woman. You could take it so many different ways, with the wisdom of God. I will say that, with the wisdom of God, taking it and from wisdom of God. And so the Samaritan woman, which is 23 and 24, and this is where I want to take off of this. It says, but the hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father is seeking such a worship. God is spirit. Those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. I want to also read Mark. This is about the reason why I just want to get these scriptures out to you and everything like that as I talk, and whatnot. Mark, and I highly recommend, and I'm only going to read a little bit, highly recommend that you write down some of the script of Bible verses and chapters I tell you about, and just go and read them for yourself. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all his righteousness shall be added unto you. You got to study to show thyself approved. You got to study the word for yourself, because man, we're flawed, and we're going to give you our own perception. Hopefully we're using the wisdom of God and his wisdom to flow in us to give you the information. But also, you still got to search the word yourself. You got to get in that word and let it edify your soul, let it edify your spirit, and whatnot. So it's Mark 9. And the backstory of this is, a man coming with his son, going to the disciples, and they cannot heal the child of the possessed demon spirit that this child has. So it is 9 and 23 and 24. And Jesus said unto them, if you can't believe, all things are possible to him who believes. Immediately the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. Now, the reason why I read these scriptures and whatnot, because first with the Samaritan woman, it says, worship him in spirit and in truth. First of all, you got to be truthful. I got to come to God with everything that I have, naked and bold, and tell him, and stop being like so many people. I know the way I grew up and the way it was presented to me is that you like hide things from God. Like he can't handle, like he don't know what is already there. You know, the fact of being truthful with God wasn't presented to me as I grew up. You have to, and with the Samaritan woman, he already knew her truth. He already knew that she was married to 5 men. She got married the first time. So it didn't work. Second time, doubt was already bedded in her head. It already took root. It was rooted and growing. Third marriage, even more doubt that she could even be a good wife, be a good person, bear children if that was on her thought. Fourth, and then fifth, and it's like, man, you've been married 5 times, and the man that you're with now is not even your husband. So it's like doubt is just sitting there, doubting herself, doubting because she was too busy seeking man's approval, man validation, being validated through men. I feel like I doubt myself so much because I was trying to seek men approval, men validation, and you shouldn't be seeking men validation. You shouldn't be seeking this world validation, because first and foremost, they didn't make you. They didn't create you. So why do you need to be validated through them? They can't validate what they didn't create. The world can't validate you what it didn't create. It did not create you. God created you. So only God can validate you. But the devil wants you to believe that you get validation through all this on this world, through people. It's okay to get praise and, people, give you comments and everything like that. But that validation that you're seeking for, that we're all seeking for, it comes to God. Because he's the one who created you. He's the one who will. Some people get validated in an open public, and some people get validated in secret. But heaven knows that you're validated, and that's what you should be seeking. And when you come to God, like I was saying, when you come to God with all the truth, because it says, they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. God is a spirit. And when you want to talk to him, it has to be truth. Come to him and say, God, I have so much doubt. The reason why I read the one in Mark, I read Mark in 9, is because this is what God gave me. See, it says, as I was saying, read it. If you go further up from the 23rd, it talks about him going to the disciples, speaking to them. Basically, he says he spoke to them. He was speaking to them, and he talked to them and asked them to cast out the demons in his child. So what I took from it is that when you're going to somebody, you're already believing. He already went in belief, believing that his child would be delivered from the possession and demons. He already had belief. But as the disciples and him and his child walked to go find Jesus, during that process of him walking to Jesus, doubt set in, unbelief set in. Because it didn't happen here. Why should I believe that it's going to happen? But he still he still believed and had some faith, but doubt was still there. And you know that doubt was still there and unbelief was there because in the 24th verse, he said, I believe, but please help my unbelief, because as I come to you, doubt set in, God. And I'm not going to even sit here and lie to you and tell you that I believe on everything, that I'm just, oh my gosh. No. Because when I came to your disciples, I had that belief, but as it didn't happen, that doubt set in, that unbelief set in, that uncertainty set in. And now I'm walking to you humbled, and I believe, but I have doubt in me. I have unbelief in me. And he was honest and truthful. And God healed. Because he wasn't trying to be like, oh God, well, I can handle this, but I need you to do this. Or, oh God, it's nothing. It's nothing. I can deal with it. No, be honest. I had to be honest with God and say, you know what, God, through everything that I've been through, walking, to me to get from here to you, where I began, and to get to you, oh, doubt set in. Unbelief set in. Uncertainty set in. It all set in from people and from environment and stuff. It all set in. So as I'm coming to you, God, I'm coming to you and telling you, help me with my unbelief. Just like that man said in Mark 9. Help me with I believe you. I do. I believe. But I have unbelief in there, and I'm not going to sit here and lie that I don't. God wants you to come to him truthful, naked, and unashamed. Unashamed of yourself. Because he's not going to judge you the way man's going to judge you. He's not going to do unto you what men are going to do unto you. So when I'm saying how to work through your doubt, just as the man did in Mark 9, is to come to him and say, as I got from A to B, and I started at A and I come to B, now you're right here. Doubt has set in, unbelief has set in. Please, Lord, help me with this. He's not looking at you to tell you that, oh, just because you have unbelief there, that, oh, I can't do anything. No, God, I do have unbelief there, but I do believe you, but I need you to help me, because as I walked on the journey, as I'm walking, unbelief sat in. And I want to be honest and open and truthful with you, because you have to worship you in spirit. I have to worship you in spirit and in truth, not spirit and in lies and doubts. I have to be open and honest. I have to reveal unto you who I am. I have to lay everything at your feet. I don't know if I can be a mom, a good mom. I have been struggling the whole entire time, God. I know we're taught to be strong and cover up our tears and everything like that, but the person that you don't have to be strong with is God. You can be weak and vulnerable, and he takes you as you are. Takes you as you are with all the doubts and flaws and everything like that. I'm uncertain I can raise these kids. I'm uncertain I can do it by myself. Okay, I know you're uncertain. But with me, there is certainty that you can do it. With me, there is. So I'm talking about this because I want you to understand that as a single mom, we're riddled with doubt. I know I am. I'm riddled with doubt. Doubt that I can do it right. Doubt that I can finish my school. Doubt that I can do this. I didn't do that right, so why would I be able to do this right? I did this right, but that was something really small, but I can't do this right because this is above my pay grade, above my level, above my education. Why can I do that? And why can I do this? I'm fearful of this and fearful of that. And doubt also brings fear. You're fearful of change. You're fearful because you stepped out. You stepped out on faith, believing that that person, whether you're male or female, being a single dad or single mom, because single dad households are on the rise, you stepped out on to believe that that person was going to love you and that person was going to, help you out, but that person failed. That person failed. So uncertainty, fear set in. And if I believe in God to help me, because I believe that I was believing back then, but look what happened. I still fell. So as you get from A and you start out believing, You start out believing. And then as you walk this life, doubt sets in. As you walk this life, unbelief sets in, fear sets in, a bunch of other host other things sets in. I'm just talking about doubt today. And as you get to God, you don't lay everything at his feet and tell him. You just like, I believe, but there's a part of you through all that, from starting at A to getting to B, where God is a part of you that's saying, yeah, your belief is not all up there. And I completely understand. I believe Mark 9 shows the fact of honesty. That God, I believe you. I know. I wouldn't, if he didn't have some type of faith, he wouldn't have been standing there. He went to the disciples, and the disciples could not help his child. He went there believing, and they couldn't help. But yet he kept walking in his unbelief and his belief. He kept walking. And when he got to Jesus, he said, I believe. I do. I believe. But please help that baggage that came with me. Please help that part. Because he was honest, open and honest. Open and honest. So, I know as a single mom, me, I still wrestle with that. But I go to God and say, God, help my unbelief. Help my unbelief. Help my disbelief. Help my doubt. Because I believe you can take me to A to B. But as you're taking me and as I'm walking, you got to walk. What that man didn't do is that he didn't sit there. He didn't sit there and be like, oh, well, can't do it. Might as well just sit here and I have to deal with this demon and everything like that. He kept walking. He got up and kept walking. He walked with that and gave it to God with true and honesty, and gave it to Jesus and gave it to him. You got to keep walking. You got to keep moving. You got to keep going. Because yes, you may have had a bump here because of a mistake is also a teachable moment. It teaches you. Don't look at your mistakes as a full mistake. Look at it as a teachable moment. I know not what to do, and I don't want to have my heart harden and cut myself off. Let me look at this as a student. I am a student within my mistake. I'm not a teacher within my mistake. I'm a student within my mistake. Become a student of your mistakes, so that when that comes again, you are now a teacher. So you can master that, because it's gonna come again. I have things that in my weakness parts where I didn't pass it the first time, and the second time it came around, but because I was a student of my weakness, I was now a teacher to the same thing that got me as a student, and I was able to pass it, and I was able to master it, and able to go to the next level. So what I want you to take from today is that doubt's gonna set in as you move from A to B. But being honest and open with God and let him know that doubt is there, that unbelief is there, that uncertainty, I don't know what to do. He's asking you to come to him. Ask him what to do with your kids. But your kids need structure. They need structure. And like I said, when structure is derived from God, it is nurture. It is nurture. And I'm not saying, oh, don't give your kids nurture. No, give them nurture. But I'm saying when that structure is derived and based off God, it is nurture as well as structure. It's a double-edged sword. You're hitting both. But there are moments where you just need nurture. There are moments where God gives you structure, but it's also nurture. But then there's moments he just gives you nothing but nurture, nothing but love. He's not even trying to teach you anything. He's not even trying to structure anything. He just wants to love on you. So your kids do need a structure. As a single mom, can't just be open to the whim and giving them bedtimes at any time that you want to give them a bedtime. Just like, oh, whenever you want to go to bed. No, shut it down. Shut it down. Shut your household down. If people want to come in, no, my household is shut down. Turn off your phone. Spend some time with God. Spend some time with your kids. TV time. I shut off the TV. Stop letting the TV raise your kids. There's just too much stuff going on in the world. You're exposing your babies to too much, too soon. Too much, too soon. Stop allowing the world to raise your children. Stop allowing the teachers to raise your children, because you definitely don't know what spirit they're coming in. You don't know what spirit that teacher is coming in. I've heard people say, well, you're supposed to be a teacher. You're supposed to be teaching my children. Do you know that children learn at home way more than they learn at school? And you want them to learn from you. You want them to learn from you. But you want them to learn good things. And that also is based off from God, that wisdom, that knowledge, that information from God. So I hope that this was great, edifying to you. I hope that you learned that your kids, as a single mom, need structure, not just for you, but for them as well. They love it. My kids love their structure. They really do. They know what's going on and whatnot. They know their house is not going to be chaotic. I mean, my son actually said to me, I love the fact that our house is not chaotic, because he's like, I've been to a couple of houses and their house is too chaotic and I can't think. I can't function. You can't function in mess. You can't. If you think you can't function. It may look like you're functioning, but you're not functioning the proper way, not the way that God really wants you to function. So I hope we'll be back, God be willing, next week for a different topic. I really hope that you learned something. I hope that it edifies you. I hope that it gives you hope as single parents. Even if you're not a single parent, I hope it gives you hope. I hope you understand that doubt is something that comes with the walk, but you keep walking. And you lay it at God's feet. But you lay that doubt at God's feet, instead of trying to believe that, it's not there. No. Be open and honest and lay it at His feet. Lay it at His feet. So I hope to hear a couple of questions and whatnot, tips or whatever. But it's just been such a glorious time to talk to some people and whatnot, and share my wisdom off my perspective and what I feel that God has given me. I'm not a guru. I don't think anybody's a guru. The only person that's a guru and the expert is God. It's the wisdom that He gives you. You know, we are nothing without Him. It's the wisdom He gives us. So I hope you guys have a glorious weekend. I hope you guys are safe, practicing social distancing and your mask, all that good stuff. Bye.